Hi there, this is Justin from LimPlates, and today we'll be looking at the common mistakes people make or teams make when using Process Street. And that most of those mistakes don't really come out from laziness or lack of awareness, but from how the tool is set up. So basically, Process Street is said to be powerful, but that's where it leads to teams getting confused or getting into a bit of chaos. So, in a way, Process Street feels attractive at first in terms of how the workflow is, how it appeals in terms of automation and control, but it feels like it answers every single question. It ticks all the right boxes, let's say, in a way that you'd want your workflows to be easier, in a way that you want to jump straight into the work and just fill in, edit here and there instead of starting certain workflows from scratch actually. So that's how it comes across. But then the problem is that there's always too much power at first, so we'll just have to click into that and have a look at that options. So here we'll be going through the messy options people make, and I'll just sort of create the workflows and show you the mess people make on each step in order for you to understand the whole process. So as you can see, there are already a workflow here. And if you want to know how we've done that, or if you want to know how we went about creating everything else and setting up the account, you can always go back to the previous videos and get up to speed. However, I will quickly and briefly go through everything right now so that you can at least have an idea of what we've been doing so far. So the first mistake that people usually make is that they overuse their automation options, and it's one of the mistakes that sort of jumble up or makes everything up chaotic. And Process Street offers conditional logic, integrations, etc., which all look impressive, of course, but automations assumes that the workflows is already trusted. So if it's something that just firstly starting off, and especially when it comes to automations, like it's your first automation that you're using is in Process Street, so it will become a bit confusing in simpler terms. But however, if you use this as you get used to the automation, as you get used to the workflows, it becomes something much easier and easier to understand. So in that case, this would mean that you create an automation, right? Like, I mean, your workflow. Let's generate a template. It's quicker that way. And yes, let's say employee onboarding. Then you do your onboarding, interns, keep it simple. Okay, I'll need to type this properly. Keep it simple. There we go. So you generate with AI and we'll wait for the results. There we go. So it's already done. You can click your edit to edit your workplace. And with that being said, people rely, let's go to automations. There we go. So with automations, you can choose which app or tool to use. Let's say you use Google Sheets and you choose action. When it comes to the action, it's what you need the work the workspace to do on your behalf without you having to manually do it. So this type of automations are the ones that are sometimes confusing for users because they don't really have much knowledge to it and they don't really know what's going on with the automation. They just start however and wherever. So after connecting it to your Google Sheets, your automations and run logs. So let's say a person fills some information onto the Google Sheet, it will auto populate onto here. So that's how one of the ways that you can deal with it. So you auto publish, you edit, And you can also share this with other team members. And when you're done, you can share it with the particular client that you need to fill in the forms. And that will basically be it. And the second mistake is understanding the setup itself. So with this, people just go straight into it without having some sort of order, some sort of responsibility or completion criteria. And it's sometimes, in a way, team members get confused on what to do, who does what, and when they need to complete it. So with that, as I've shown in the last video, with this, you can always go back to your workspaces and assign people to a different section. So wait, let's go back to run, and then I'll show you how to assign people to different. So you can invite people here so that it will be easier for you to add them here. You can add the team members and write the team member's name, let's say Tom, and then Tom will see this and the comments that you write below that. Maybe it's they made an error or whatever the case may be, or there's something that's missing, you can always edit there. So that mistake can always be fixed at any given time. And then the third one, and who and yeah, it's the third and last mistake people usually make, is that people ignore the maintenance burden. So with this, each workspace can be used once for each client. So you can use it for a client or you can use it for a particular workflow. With that being said, it's often, let's say, people often ignore the fact that these tools often go through a change, like the setup change, the tool change itself, and the people change within the workspace that you invited. So people might confuse different workspaces for others, since they might get invited to quite a few workspaces with different criteria and agendas. So there is a possibility of mistaking a certain task for another, or mistaking a certain workflow for another, or a certain client for another. So they might end up completing the wrong deliverables in the wrong workflow. So that's one of the reasons. So, and that can obviously create a little bit of friction. So let's say the people who struggle using this tool itself is small teams without a dedicated OPS ownership, or a team that doesn't have someone who is mainly responsible for using this tool and mainly manages and sort of maintains this tool in a way that everyone else doesn't need to worry about. Everyone else won't need to be too focused on the learning this tool in particular, the whole of it, so they can just have someone do that and then point out the errors, the mistakes that they made when using this tool, so that they can be quickly fixed. So this tool is usually best at executions that can be tracked, accountability when it comes to team members having to complete a certain section of the tool, and if you want really common mistakes, to avoid most of the common mistakes, you can use tools like LimPlates. You can use tools that are also available out there. And with that being the case, let's see, LimPlates, then .com. There we go. And you quickly select that. So we will be brief with this one. And just like in the previous videos, you have your template here, which you can find from the marketplace. There are different templates here. So with this, you can edit, right? Remove the steps that you don't need, or add sections that you need. For example, let's see, add field. Then you can add your long texts, your number, your drop downs, your checkboxes, your dates, your file uploads, your URL links, which is YouTube and other platforms, or you can just embed a video directly. So there is that option. And with this one, you can share it with team members as well, or you can make this template public to anyone who sees it. But usually you would have shared this with team members. For example, you would create your team here, your marketing team working on a particular client, or then you can see you can invite your members here, you write their email addresses, and then the templates, you share the templates that they need to work on, and then they complete all the templates. So you can make a copy of each template here and then rename it to the client so that there isn't any confusion. Anyway, this is all the information I can give you for now. So if you need to explore this tool in further detail and at your own leisure, have a look around, play around with options, get extensive knowledge on it, you can always click the link in the description below and you will see everything that you need to see. That's it from me, and I will catch you on the next video.